Hey everybody, it's Monday the 24th of May 2021. My name's Kevin and this is your spiritual inbox where I come on every day to try and lift and motivate your day and bring you a more powerful connection to your soul path. Um, I pull cards from Carl Gray's Oracle deck. Actually, I combined two. Got 12 of the archangels that come from Angel Prayers deck, and then the others 44 come from Keepers of the Light. Um, and this morning, I did my prayer to Lady Venus. I've committed to doing that every day for 33 days, giving thanks for the connection with source energy, and then a treatment afterwards to increase the bandwidth, we call it, for the connection with spirit world. I think it's needed right now. I think it's needed to create a conscious shift forward on a universal level, not so much our own little backyard, or that's where it starts. Everything we do, you and I do, starts with ourselves and moves outwards. So once we start tidying up the clutter on the inside of who we are, we can then shine bright for the outside. And everything happens right now, in the right here, in the present moment. It's not something that we have to go back to and dig up. And although that's sometimes irrelevant, it comes up when there are past conversations, past histories, past connections that have to be healed. Because, you know, if there's open wounds, emotional wounds, spiritual wounds, then there's an opportunity when we're enlightening, when we're increasing bandwidth, when we're lifting and going towards more of a spiritual practice. Some of those burdens get in the way. They are hold us down, weigh us down, which is why today's message for the beginning of the week is perfect. So I pulled the three cards. Actually, I was shuffling, and as I do, shuffling cards and giving thanks for the connection to. I'll see if I can move this camera down a bit. Oh no, I can't. Well, no, it's okay. Giving thanks for the connection to source energy, and thanks for the connection to spirit world. And then these three lovely masters just hopped out, so I placed them all face down on my desk and just meditated over all three before turning them over. Which order would they need to be in? This one representing where we are, strength, what we know, what we're consciously aware of, what we're desiring, what we would like to emphasize, basically the firefold of today's subject. In the middle, we have what the heart wants, the desires, the emotional reason, the purpose, basically desire, heart, purpose. What do we need to know about this situation? What have we desired? Where does this come from? Basically, like a justification for what we know is going on. And then finally, anything that we should be, this one, anything that we should be made aware of, challenges, things we should pay attention to, perhaps their blind spots, maybe something that can enhance. I like to look at the third card in any basic question reading as being, what is it we can do to improve and enhance, speed up, and perhaps give an extra push to this card, this situation, which is what we really truly desire? Is there things that we should be working on? So this message always feels like it's so very personal to me, and then I share it with everyone and I get a sense that no, not so much. I get messages from you guys that say, no, this was so personal, I needed to hear it. It seems like you're talking directly to me personally. So I now realize that whatever I choose is a direct extension of what others are looking for also. So let's give my interpretation of how to land this reading today for where we are in our consciousness. So if we match up the soft relaxation of what our governments locally, nationally, internationally are about, the relaxation of restrictions, if we will, the meeting up of minds, people gathering again, going to concerts, mingling, socializing, and that's lovely. If you were pulled into the fear that if you do these things, go these places, don't conform, don't do what you're supposed to do, something catastrophic will happen. So Babaji is all about expanding your soul and understanding what your consciousness is capable of. Now that you've had a chance to be more introverted, introspective, looking into your role in your life and the love that you have for the people that you want to love and the love that they have for you, you've become aware that your family, whether they are blood relatives or chosen relatives, those that you have met on a soul path and decided to spend quality time with, you've realized that your soul has expanded to the point where you are able to connect with those you want to connect with, cherish those who cherish you. Excuse me. The Mahavatar, Babaji, has come to say you are expanding, your soul is expanding, and your life path and purpose is being revealed to you right now. If you're on this daily vibe lifting, you're getting it, you're understanding it, you're becoming a little more in tune with your higher being, the other part of you, the spiritual part of you, connecting with your spirit guide, your guardian angel, understanding what ascended masters are. And Paramahansa Yogananda wrote a fabulous book, Autobiography of a Yogi. And Babaji, when they show up in a reading like this, reminds us that the word yoga is to bring in together everything, to honor and respect the divine, to honor and respect the connection with source energy, and to honor and respect the self with relationship to the planet, the local environment, the nature of your soul, the path of your soul, the healing aspects that need to take place, and the feeling aspects that happen, the letting go, the acceptability of what's happening in the present moment. And yoga, the word, is to join the love and the essence of the source, the divine, the universe with you. It's to take that essence of the divine, to take the inner truth of what we know at the deeper parts of our being, in the choices we make with food, the choices we make in home, the choices we make to find peace, the choices we make to find clarity, the choices we make to find a spiritual connection with the energy that created us to begin with. Mahatma Babaji is telling you right now your soul has expanded, and to follow your feet where your path is into the world of yoga. Lord Shiva, also a beloved god of the Hindu traditions and religions, if you will, practices, is basically here to say your heart, your desire your feet, your whole being wants to dance and sing the way it's meant to. Lord Shiva represents the removal of any kind of fear that you have, fear of judgment, fear of what other people say or think, and the fear of being admonished or what have you for your hippy-dippy light way of being. Lord Shiva's image is bejeweled, got the crescent of the moon in his head, all these arms and legs dancing. Often he's seen with all kinds of crazy accessories, earrings and necklaces, and it's just really a big celebration of go forward, be different, be an individual, find your soul path, find your inner diva, find all of those things. Leave alone the idea that what you're doing, saying, being, and who you are at the core of your being is somehow a problem. Lord Shiva paves the way to let go, cut the ties that bind you to what people put in your heart, the beliefs that took away your heart space, all of those things that were placed upon you by other people, the people that have, maybe ghosted you, cast you out, judged you, been unkind, said unkind things to other people. Lord Shiva is basically saying your soul is expanding, you're transcending into something big and beautiful. Take up your space, and I'm going to move all of those fears away. And then finally, our final card, which pulls all this together, is what are we not paying attention to, or what can boost these two energies? An increase in meditation, an increase in spiritual learning, and become the student of your own guidance. Become the student of your own inner guidance. Once you begin to understand that the last 12 months or more have really been all about sorting through your fears, sorting through your anger, sorting through the major, somewhat negative emotions that have plagued our existence since we've likely been on the planet. Especially if you've been here as yourselves for more than 3 to 4 decades. You've learned the way cultural society has placed rules and regulations and laws, and you've now learned that in 12 months, which is a short space of time, environmentally, emotionally, mentally, and culturally, there is a shifting forward. Never in our history have we had a social uprising where justice and the social treatment of others has been so severely challenged. At the same time, we've had a global crisis. So the Black Lives Matter movement, the social justice movement, the protests and subsequent public changes, social changes, also came at a time where governments were trying to control what people did and didn't do. Now we're at a point where there is some semblance of personal order other than the crazy random acts of violence, which if you're not a violent person, if you don't have violent tendencies, if you are really truly about love, understanding, peace for others, which is what Buddha and Buddhists are, then you will not attract them, you won't be around them, and as your daily spiritual practice increases, soul expansion, transcendence, and this increased inner awareness, you'll realize that you are able to basically use the other side of your intelligence, your inner voice, to lift you past it. I have a saying, on a human level, don't invite it in. Don't talk about it. Don't whisper it. It isn't ignoring that it exists. It is denying that it's going to affect you. Let me get clear with that. I'll put my camera back on. In the last little while, I've been faced with issues. You've been faced with issues. I do hear people sit in my chair. They share their thoughts and beliefs about what they feel and what they think. And that's fine. I'm happy to listen and receive. That doesn't mean to say I attach myself to it. I'm not attaching myself to something I inwardly don't believe, inwardly don't feel. Neither is it my job to turn around and influence other people with what they think and what they feel and what they believe. That's really honoring and respecting people, which is what Buddhists, Hindus, anyone who's part of a spiritual ascension, a spiritual connection does. The days of arguing, the days of starting a fire, starting a fight are done. All of those folks who believed the way they believed and spouted what they spouted and danced on the soapbox of what they danced on, which is fine. Listen, we have to express ourselves. Hopefully we're in a somewhat free society and a democracy where we can do that. They're getting tired. Yet all of us who hold space of love, devotion, understanding, caring, sitting with people who are having challenges, all of that is expanding. That consciousness is expanding. I was on a call a few weeks ago. It was a little random angel call, middle of the day on Wednesday, middle of the week, middle of the day. Over 2,000 people from all over the world were physically logged into a Zoom call that I was on. And since that went on replay, tens of thousands of people all over the world had connected to this podcast or Zoom replay, if you will. All about this consciousness expanding, a bigger consciousness happening. We might have spoken about it for years. We might have sat here and said, meditate every day, fill your mind with this. But then we get on with our daily life. We, the practice of yoga, for which I taught for many years, I've watched students after Shavasana. They would leave hugging and feeling better and going out in the lobby and saying amazing things about what they'd experienced. 30 minutes later, they've been up and down the aisles of the grocery store or standing in line getting fast food, whatever they were doing with their life. Not even an hour goes by, and that feeling of lightness and transformation had finished. It had ended. They were back to the old habits until the next class. In the same token, I watched how the practice of yoga, the physical practice of yoga, matched with the spiritual expansion of who I was, change who I was on every single level. Not so much changed who I was, became a different person, but reminded who I was to begin with. Who I really truly am emerged up underneath who I had been pretending to be. I had a chuckle to myself yesterday, I think, day before yesterday. I went through Costco's. I actually like Costco's. It's convenient and, you can get some things a little less than you would at the regular store. Anyway, I was suddenly struck by how many people are behaving and being very different to who they truly are. They were being somebody that they're not. And you can watch it if you pay attention. You can watch the behaviors of other people behaving in a way, becoming the car they drive, becoming the bag they hold, becoming the hair they have, becoming their things, becoming their environment. When I was little, that was called showing off. Yesterday, I find this amusing because I look at it in a different way. Really, there was a celebrity lady that has a line of what could only be described as undergarments, advertising them. and suggesting to the audience that they forget about everything they've already known about these undergarments. And I was just watching just the behavior. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure people watch me and how I'm being, and that's fine. I'm not judging. I'm just curious. Wow, this lady is rolling around in front of a camera with a girdle on. And the girdle was the same color as her skin, which was lovely. But, when you look quickly, I think what struck me was, oh, there's a lady just rolling around naked. But she wasn't naked. She had this undergarment on, which really looked like a very tight, form-fitting bathing suit. It's fine. And then I thought to myself, oh, wow, if that was simple to do, if women were really concerned about the curves and the shapes of their body, which I find women to be unbelievably beautiful in any shape, form, age, what have you. I am honored to be in a profession where I get to work with beautiful women every day, no matter what. It doesn't matter whether they are 18 or 90. Every woman I see as being just a beautiful woman. Men too, obviously, but what I found abhorrent and so challenging, being in this physical environment, is that women applaud each other, celebrate each other, but then also do the opposite in such awful ways. Anyway, I digress. So yes, I thought to myself, well, if I were a woman and I were thinking about getting something that adds, accentuates my shapes, what have you, it might be the whole package, the clothing. It happens from inside. It happens from the way we carry ourselves. And typically we live in a culture where having jiggly bits and rolls and things that you other people might find not attractive, well, I'm not really doing it for them. There was a time I did. There was a time I thought that I had to be a certain size and I had to fit in a certain type of clothes to be acceptable. And there's a lot of folks that feel that way. Only because somebody told me way back when I was young and impressionable that the size I was unacceptable and that I needed to change myself because this was not this, not that. It was all programmed into me. So I became what I believed they said I was. And many people do that. It's how we develop multiple personalities. It's how we become the people that we truly aren't, which is my point about Costco. Where, wow, if you took people and said to a person randomly, listen, you're the most beautiful thing I've seen in a while. What is your name? My name is so-and-so. They think you'd lost your mind or you were high on something. High on life is fabulous. Trust me. I've been high on lots of other things, but being high on life is far better. And that is the shedding of the fear. The shedding of the fear that other people are going to think I'm a certain way. One of my good friends reminded me yesterday, got quite annoyed actually, about something I was trying to hide. And I realized I shouldn't be hiding it. I should be celebrating it because people were celebrating it. And I was so concerned about being judged, which was so ridiculous because it really isn't true. But still, even in this physical, spiritual path of transformation, there are still hits. There are still people. There are still situations that come up that snap. And it's not that you intend to be cruel to yourself or other people. It is the story, the reminder that, oh, we've got to clean this up. This is a little bit of a dark spot. Sweep it. Emotional dust. Dump it. Because in reality, the truth is, the people we believe are saying, doing, thinking the things that we believe they might, which they haven't, is what's causing trouble and strife. Let it go. Dump it. You can have a conversation. You can have a clearing. This is what's coming up for me. And it really is nonsense, which is why it's difficult to have those conversations. I learned during my teacher training that They're called awkward conversations for a reason. You just have an awkward conversation, but you have to find a beautiful, peaceful place to have an awkward conversation. And awkward conversations must be framed in love. They must be framed in forgiveness. They must be framed in consciousness. And those are my four-legged children having a fit downstairs. Anyway, let's get on with this week's reading and see if our daily meditation journey to the heart matches this transformation. I'm so pleased and proud these things showed up for me today. Yesterday was a day where I did a lot of resting, a lot of healing. I really had not that much energy, and I'm not quite sure why. Slept so well last night. I did some napping yesterday, which was quite lovely. And I just was not beating myself up for being lazy, but rather acknowledging myself for healing, taking care of myself. All right. May 24th, and the message for the day is: rituals connect us with faith. I stopped at a Franciscan monastery, a short visit to look around. I bought a keychain, returned to my car, then realized I had misplaced my keys. I went back inside and talked to the receptionist. Just then, a short priest joined our conversation. He had a bald head circled by a short fringe of hair, and he wore a flowing black robe. "Let me show you what I do when I lose something," he said. "I ask St. Anthony for help." The next moment, the priest was spinning in a circle, clapping his hands in joyful prayer. St. Anthony, please look around. Something's been lost and cannot be found." He stopped, looked at me, then smiled. "Now you'll find your keys," he said. He was right. Within 30 seconds, we found the keys. They were on the counter, in a place we had looked twice before. For some reason, we just hadn't seen them. But I found something more wonderful than my car keys. I had witnessed a delightful man expressing pure, innocent joy in a ritual that helped him and others through the days. What are the rituals that are important to you, that awaken joy, innocence, the faith in you? Do you allow yourself to use these rituals freely? What were the rituals you enjoyed as a child, the ones that brought you comfort? Do you remember them? Engage in these rituals, use them freely, share them with others, as the priest did with me. Rituals connect us to faith. They're faith in action. Rituals are reminders of our connection to God. They bring us back to God and ourselves. Rituals and miracles, all of that. And that, I think, my friends, how to tie that in. Don't ever give up. Don't ever be fearful that something terrible is about to happen. Listen to your inner guidance. Listen to your inner priest. Really listen to your inner priest. I find it lovely and quite freeing, and I'm grateful that I have landed and chosen to come to a nation, which is America, where the reason it was started was to have freedom of choice with the religious rituals that we practice. Faith is having faith that things will be all right. Hope is hoping that things will be okay. And the inner knowledge is knowing that they'll be okay. Because while we are connected to source energy, while we're connected to the godlike energy, universal energy, the energy that created us to begin with doesn't care whether you have a Torah, a Bible, or a guidebook. It's all the same. Doesn't care whether you are a homeless person, a person living in a mansion, a millionaire, or someone without any means, financial or otherwise. The source energy creates anything and everything we want. Anything and everything we want to experience. the one thing that's a common denominator that source energy is truly, without a doubt, is love. Period. There is only that. Anytime we're expressing joy, we're expressing love. Anytime we're expressing friendship, we're expressing love. Anytime we get to show someone else that we care about them, giving them something, handing them money, helping them take a step forward, we are expressing love. So you might be around people, you might be around situations and stories that are wishing to place something on your heart and in your being that you know for sure is not lined up with you, not lined up with your heart space, not lined up with source. Trust it, because someone around the corner, or more than one person, will come forward and say, yeah, no, this is not right, this is not true, this is not on. All right, let's meditate. Bring your feet flat to the floor. Bring your palms up to the roof. And before we meditate, just start your breath off. Get centered. And by centered, it means really become present to where you are in your environment at this present time. Big breath in. Release it out. And to help filter out the thoughts that are racing through your mind about what you may have just heard me say, think of them like echoes. Think of them as like rippling outward, moving through you, unattached from where you are at this moment. Integrate your physical body to the physical space by thinking about the soles of your feet and how the soles of your feet are connected to the Mother Earth, and how the Mother Earth pulls and magnetically draws out of you anything that bothers you, troubles you, or that you are done with. Bring your other consciousness, the rest of your consciousness, to your breath and pull in deep breath. As you let go of each and every breath, find the essence of releasing, lifting, and then just bring yourself to this present moment where you are, the sounds that you're hearing, the way that your skin feels against the room that you're in, the temperature of your skin. Bring awareness to your physical body from the bones of you out through the muscles of you into the skin of you and then beyond. Thank you, Archangel Michael and Ascended Masters, for removing the energies and the ties that bind me and others to people, places, situations, stories, and anything that we don't want or need and don't serve our purpose. Thank you for cutting the ties and removing those binds right now. We are free. I'm the keeper of my mind and my body. Wherever love is, fear is a stranger, and love is right here, flowing through me, radiating from me in all directions and coming back to me multiplied. The more love I use and give, the more there is to give. The supply of love is endless. The use of this love makes me feel good. It is an expression of my inner joy, and so it is, and so shall it be. Allow yourself to be in a space of grace. And notice how you may or may not be reacting to your environment. What you're hearing, what you're experiencing, how you're being. Let your mind settle right here. And as you even out your breath, with your eyes closed, seeing what you see between your eyebrows, your third eye center, let whatever colors and images appear, allow them to be just that. Know that the word appear is from the word apparition. Using the practice of being still, learning the art and mastery of being present, fine-tuning your ability to be aware. Know that whatever you are hearing and experiencing now in this space is perfectly fine. It's okay. Anytime you find your mind wandering off, attaching to a time that has already been or hasn't yet occurred, bring yourself back to the sound of your breath. And the conscious awareness of your feet connected to the earth or your hands anchoring to the space. Bring your hands to heart center at your chest. Lift your thumb knuckles to your third eye center, and together we bow and say Namaste. Thank you, my friends, for letting me share this day with you and these beautiful cards with you. Have a great Monday, and I hope we get to see each other again tomorrow. Bye.